Hey, what's up, everybody? Got a quick one here. Just gonna run through my AIM Labs routine, and then we'll call it a day here. Gonna get started. I don't have a ton of time. Wife's out picking up the kids from daycare, so just doing this before they get home. We'll see how this goes. I usually don't do super well when I'm in my contacts because my eyes tend to dry out, but hopefully I can make it work. Hope everybody's having a nice day. I know I've worked all day today, and got the kids back to daycare for the first time in like over a week, which was nice. Finally not sick. See how long that lasts. And it was a relatively quiet, nice day. Hopefully everybody else is having a good one. Had a nice weekend. Although I got some vaccines, so I was basically just slightly under the weather from the vaccines all weekend, but yeah. Better to have the vaccines than to actually get sick. For anybody who has kids, being sick with kids is kind of the worst, because they still are needy, and you're not feeling well. But yeah, I'm just running through my AIM Labs routine here. I'm doing the Woohoojin Intermediate routine. Takes about half an hour. Just trying to get my aim back to where it was before the kids were born. Trying to feel crisp, feel good about what I'm doing here. Trying to get to a place where I feel like it's not my aim that's preventing me from, playing well. Just need to get my timing back with like my util and all of that. And vision is going blurry. Stupid contacts. Yeah, this is so much harder with my contacts than with my glasses. My eyes dry out so fast from not blinking. There we go. Clear it up. Cool. But yeah, my name's AG Bastrap. I play Valorant. I'm an Ascendant 1 peak player. I was back in episode 5, and I pretty much just stopped caring about playing ranked in any serious way. After I hit Ascendant 1, I kind of lost my motivation. Took a break from the game for a bit, came back in episode 6, got really into like the Woohoojin community. I didn't really play much ranked. I was mostly playing in the in-houses and then the Underpeel League, Season 1 veteran. And then, and then my kids were born, so I kind of took like a 2-episode break because I have twins, and I just didn't have time to really play outside of like a random day every once in a while in the first year of their life. So now that my kids are sleeping again, I have a little bit more opportunity to game. So I'm getting back into it a little bit and trying to figure out how to get my skills back. So, currently gold 3, my account decayed quite a bit from my mostly diamond days, from when I was just basically queuing enough ranked to actually establish my rank. And, I'd play with friends occasionally. So, I've mostly just been playing with some old friends from Valorant that have always kind of been around the gold level. And, we're 5 stacking. Wins are a little hard to come by. I think the MMIR of my account pulls up the elo of the entire lobby, and despite the fact that I've hard carried a couple games, we just really can't buy ourselves a win because it's tough sledding out there. But I haven't really been caring about winning too much lately. Might do some solo queuing soon though to try to get back to where I feel like I should be, which I think I can get back to upper plat, low diamond pretty easily, and then it's really, do I want to do anything beyond that? I mean, if you look at my tracker, my overall play at my current ranking is pretty strong. I just need to like actually accumulate some wins. And to do so, I probably just need a solo queue. Not that I'll win every game, but I'll probably win more games. But yeah, for anybody that's not familiar with this playlist, it starts with tracking. Get all the tracking skills out of the way, and then you move into flicking, you move into like micro adjustments, and then it's like target acquisition with moving targets. First flicking task after these tracking tasks always feels terrible. Just feel slow whenever I get into the flicking on the very first one, and then I usually like find my sweet spot. But yeah, so I try to do this as often as I can. You know, right now it's kind of been like every other day, which is good. Ideally I want to do it 5 out of 7 days a week, but it's not always possible with kids. And even then, like, just tired at the end of the day sometimes. But if the kids are in daycare, it's a little bit more feasible. Have a little bit of a window before they come home. So, all right, so now we take a 2-minute break before we go to the next task. So yeah, everything's like in, you have 2 tasks or you have 2 scenarios per grouping, and you do each task 3 times. So 6 total tasks per grouping, with 2 scenarios. Starts tracking, then it goes into flicking, then it goes into micro adjustments, then it goes into like the moving target acquisition. Whole thing takes about 30 minutes. Ideally, after you complete this, you do some DMs in your game of choice. Mine happens to be Valorant. And, you just kind of work on your mechanics, your fundamentals. And realistically, if you're doing this often enough, on a regular basis, you're actually actively working at getting better, and do some bot reviews here and there, it should put you in a place where your aim should improve given enough dedicated practice and given yourself enough time. It should improve, and you won't have to worry about it during the rest of your gameplay. Basically, it's like, you're working on it, your aim's going to get better. Maybe your aim's a problem, but like, hey, you're working on it. It's going to improve. So you can, when you're in game, you can focus more on the macro aspects of the game and like, your util usage and rotations and things like that, and just like let your mechanics be what they are. Now that said, if you are someone who is playing Valorant and you're like you've never gotten anything beyond silver, I would recommend Aim Lab is probably, not that it's ever bad, but like playing in game is kind of what you need to do. I would watch the Wuhujin Guide to Guide to Gold. I forget what the name of the YouTube video is, but that particular series will give you basically everything you need to know to improve your fundamentals enough that like you should be able to more or less carry your way out of silver purely on your aim. Like if you're overly concerned with strats and util usage, you're focused on the wrong things. You need to develop the fundamentals in those lower ranks, and then once you get to gold, you start to get to a point where it's like, okay, now we can start abusing some of the strategies, helping organize the team enough that you're IGLing a little bit. But like, yeah, basically, if you try to carry your way out of the lower ranks purely with like macro related elements, you're going to very quickly hit a wall. And like that's where a lot of people I used to play with have kind of been like they just don't take the time to develop their mechanics enough to actually move along. And it becomes a very big hindrance because at some point you do just need to win your gunfights. Like you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you can't hit the shots you need to hit, then like it doesn't really matter. And I mean, it's kind of just a. I wish it weren't always the case, but like, yeah, it's just you need to hit your shots. Not much you can do about it. Getting a phone call, but it doesn't seem to be for my wife, so I'm not super concerned about it. Been getting a lot of spam calls lately. I don't really know why. Thought I was going to get better after the election ended, but if anything, it's gotten worse. Oh, vision's starting to go. I really hate wearing my contacts when I do aim training. Ugh, yeah, that one did not feel good. The phone call was super distracting too. All right, we're gonna make up for that one. Here we go. But yeah, like when it comes to in-game play, it's a trap to not focus on your shooting capabilities. You need to get them to a certain baseline, and then like I mean you need to continue to work on developing them because you really don't want your aim to be the thing that's holding you back. It feels really bad. And you can't be afraid of taking fights. You need to take the fights when you need to take them. And like that said, not every fight's a good fight, but like sometimes it's inevitable. And sometimes you're going to be put in situations where you have to take a bad fight. You know, you're in a clutch scenario, and like you want to win those occasionally. You're never expected to win those, but like you want to win them occasionally. Because unfortunately, that is kind of one of the ways to break up in a game. Is hey, that's how you get those 13-4 type victories. It's like, oh, we won rounds that we just shouldn't have won. One of the things I need to do is I have overcompensated from my time being a Hoojin disciple. I definitely worked on making my gameplay more aggressive because I was definitely way too passive when I was at my peak. But now I need to dial it back again and start playing. I need to be more judicious in when I choose to either be aggressive or passive. Like I need to actively choose what I'm doing and then do it, rather than like either be recklessly aggressive or just be incredibly passive. I'm kind of like, and I need to do it more round to round, not like game to game, not match to match. So yeah, I think that's kind of the main thing I need to focus on. Besides, I mean, there's a few things I need to work on. My timing with my util is definitely not as where it should be. I'm still getting back into the swing of things, and it doesn't help that there's a few maps that I'm just like relatively new on. I didn't get to play much Sunset before my hiatus, and I didn't really get to play, Abyss is brand new to me. I've probably played like 5 matches on it. And that said, I know it's not a very comfortable map for the majority of people. It's still, it's new for everybody. But I have less experience on it than the majority, so I need to get some like set plays. I need to get an actual playbook on that map. I just don't have that yet. All right, so we take another 2-minute break here. Right? No. We gotta do that one more time. Right? Yeah, one more time. But yeah, once I get a little bit of a playbook going, which, I mean, I'm thinking Omen's the right play there for me. I don't know. I can't really seem to find a very... I mean, the meta high elo seems to be Astra as the main controller. And I don't know if I really want to commit to playing Astra on that map. Although I'm kind of in the same predicament on Pearl. Like, I was playing Viper before, but now with like all the Viper nerfs that have taken place since the last time Pearl was in the map rotation, I'm not sure that Viper's the right play for me. She just feels a little too limited. And like if I was duo queuing with another controller player consistently, then I'd probably still play Viper, but you know, in solo queue you can't really expect anybody to play, you know, a dome smoker or something to enable the Astra pick more. So we'll see. Yeah, definitely not playing as well. I think part of this is definitely my contacts are bugging out. But yeah, I the last time I played Pearl, I tried Astra again because I was running Astra when I was playing Pearl in the Underpeel League, so I have some experience in like some organized play with Astra. So it's not like I'm starting from square one. And you know, I like her. It's just you're definitely much more limited with like an Astra versus, say, like playing Omen is much more liberating. Playing Clove is much more liberating. You have utility you can take advantage of. Like Clove, you can just keep taking fights after fights because you can heal, you can resurrect if you have your ults up. If you die early, you can still smoke for the team potentially. Omen has a lot more useful utility for solo play, like both solo play and team play. Astra is basically like you need to be a strong lurker, and you also need to like know how to like take advantage. And I just don't play enough Astra to like take advantage of my utility more than just like smoking effectively, or like, you know, the classic Astra post plant denial nonsense, which is like, you know, it's strong, but it's just, it's a very limiting, boring game of like all I'm doing is throwing down smokes and then throwing down a star to, you know, use the suck is well on tap. Like that's not the way I want to play personally. So I probably need to do some pro study if I'm actually going to play Astra on that, just to like see the most effective way to do it. And like the thing is, like the pro players are also so fast with Astra. I am definitely not anywhere near as comfortable like throwing down stars quickly. So now we're in the microflicks. And this one's more about finding groupings of dots together. This is a lot about making good decisions with like where the tight groupings are. Oh my god. This is feeling terrible right now. This is going to be a bad run. It wasn't as bad as it felt, but... I'm not getting a lot of tight groupings yet in this run. That was a better one. Everything is so spread out right now on this board. Sorry, I'm being quiet here. I was just focusing on getting a decent run in. Ah, that one felt good. That was a much more respectable run. Alright, not a great start. Make up for it though. Don't have time to restart my tasks right now, so we're just getting a run in and we're moving on with it. Normally, if I just like have a really bad start to a task, I just restart it real quick. You know, if I'm like 3 seconds in, I'm like, that was absolutely horrid. Like, let's not feel so bad about it 5 seconds into this task. But I am on a pretty limited time constraint with my kids on the way home from daycare, so I kind of have to just run through this. So, getting through it today and doing my best to focus and get a good run in is the best I'm gonna get today. Really, it's consistency and doing my best to improve is all I can hope for. Getting a ton of notifications right now. All right. This is one of my favorite tasks. I don't know, something about having two little dots. It's just fun. But yeah, for anybody that's interested in aim training, definitely adjust your settings in aim labs to be more high contrast, but also like low white levels. Make it easier on your eyes. Don't start a bright white field. Change the sound so it's not as annoying. Turn off the sparks. You want it to be very simplistic. At least if you're actually serious about working on your aim. Don't just do the basic tasks. Find a good playlist to work off of, you know, like honestly find like a aiming community like Voltaic. There's some other ones out there, but I'm familiar with Voltaic. You know, find some decent aim training communities to help guide your practice. Not just like, I mean, doing anything is better than doing nothing, but like more purposeful practice is always better than chaotic practice. And like find the guides that actually give you some instruction on like how to approach the tasks to improve, because running through the tasks and like only trying to like maximize your score is not always the right path. At the end of the day, you're trying to work, I mean, outside of unless you're competing for scores, which is not going to apply to the majority of people, like the goal is to improve your aim specifically for whatever FPS game you care about the most. So you want to do the task in a way that's actually going to benefit you and lead to growth, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like practicing an instrument. Like, there's a lot of things you can do, and like, yeah, at the end of the day, like, playing the instrument is better than not playing an instrument. But like, if you develop bad habits that can be harder to break if you're not careful. So like, finding at least some basic guidance is really important to make sure you're on a good path and that you're working on things that are actually going to improve you long term and not just help you, you know, satisfy an immediate return for some simple gratification, you know? All right, I'll be right back.